And so if I have two non-Cisco routers, I can't use HSRP here. I would need something that is allowed to be deployed because Cisco owns the rights to HSRP. So instead, the industry created the Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, or VRRP. Now, by all rights, VRRP and HSRP, they are very similar, but the industry does like to differentiate themselves a little bit from what Cisco creates, and so we do have a few differences. So first of all, we do have new terminology. Instead of active and standby, we are going to have master and backup. These are the roles that we use for VRRP. Furthermore, if we have lots of routers in this network, before we had the listen role for HSRP, but here we're just going to have many backup roles. Next, we have to elect a master, and we're still going to use the priority concept, although interestingly, at least on Cisco devices, our priority is going to range from 1 to 254. So remember, we had the full 8-bit range, 0 to 255 with HSRP. With VRRP, it's going to be between 1 and 254. So next we have timers. Same concept, except in our case here, the default timers are different. It's going to be 1 second hello timers and 3-second hold timers. Lastly, authentication does still exist, although on Cisco devices we actually only support open authentication. So that means that we have plain text passwords that are sent back and forth, which doesn't help prevent the bad guys from breaking into our network, but it does make it so we don't have accidental misconfigurations. Now lastly, we have one other really nifty feature that VRRP has that HSRP doesn't, and that is that we can use a physical address as our virtual address. But here's what's interesting about this. I'm going to set my default gateway to whatever that IP address is. So my default gateway points to 253. I'm still going to configure this router with its own IP address of .254. And so if we think about this, this is interesting because now I'm going to be pointing to this IP address, and if this device were to go down, I just lost access to my gateway. I lost access to 253. Except if I'm running VRRP here, and I specify that this virtual address is .253, then that still allows me to have my master, it allows me to have my backup, and in the event that this interface goes down, this device can take over for 253. Pretty interesting.